I have kind of a love-hate relationship with Twitter. It is filled with some of the stupidest fucking people I have ever seen, some of the dumbest takes I've ever read are on that platform, and overall, just a lot of the community in general is toxic. And yet, I browse the site numerous times a day. I tweet a couple of times a day on most days. I love reading tweets written by people I follow. As embarrassing as this may be to admit, I am informed about a lot of current events through Twitter. And hey, it's not uncommon where I get a good idea for a video through Twitter, like my previous two videos and this video. I promise, this will be my last video that has to do with Twitter for a while. Hopefully. So why am I talking about Twitter, you may ask? Well, Twitter a few months ago rolled out a feature where you can hide certain replies that are written under your tweets, which I wouldn't be complaining about if it wasn't so fucking stupid, because here's how it works. There's a little hidden replies icon directly under the tweet if the author of the tweet chooses to hide certain tweets, and you can tap on that icon and you can scroll through all the tweets that are hidden. That kind of sort of defeats the purpose of having a hidden tweet feature, right? Because people can still easily access the tweets that the author chose to hide, and thus, if they are getting a huge shitload of harassment from certain people and they want to hide these tweets, wouldn't that kind of amp up harassment because they would be seen as a quote-unquote pansy because they chose to hide some tweets that maybe they didn't want the public to see, or maybe they just, didn't want those tweets to be visible for any valid reason and decided to hide those tweets. And being able to see these tweets, again, would just ramp up harassment because people would be like, oh, look at how cowardly this person is. They have to hide some tweets under their tweet because, oh, they can't handle my opinion, or they can't handle other opinions, or they just can't handle the truth, or anything of the sort. Especially, again, if a person is at the brunt of a lot of harassment already and they want to try to combat said harassment by hiding tweets that, engage in harassment. Like I mentioned earlier, Twitter's community can be very, very toxic, and not everyone is equipped to deal with said toxicity, so I can understand why some people would want to hide certain replies under their tweets. And I don't know how common this is on Twitter. I'm sure it's happened a multitude of different times in the past, but there are certain pieces of shit out there who would go the extra mile and post personal information under people's tweets, or maybe personal, or maybe private photos or private videos, if you get what I mean, under people's tweets, and of course the author of that tweet wouldn't want the public to see that kind of information or those kind of videos or photos, so naturally they would want to try to get rid of these kind of tweets, and of course they would try to hide these tweets from the public, but oh no, it's plastered for the whole public to see because there's a little icon that you can tap on or click on, whatever fucking device you're using Twitter on, and you can see those tweets for yourselves. Just like that. I remember reading a tweet that was gaining a lot of traction, and then I decided to browse the replies written under said tweet, and then I came across one piece of shit who decided to make a whole account dedicated to just spreading revenge porn of, I assume, their ex-girlfriend, and then I visited their profile and noticed that they scoured out Twitter for any viral tweet they can find, and then replied to that tweet with nudes of, again, I assume their ex-girlfriend, that I'm sure when she took these nudes, she didn't intend for the public to see these nudes, and this piece of shit was spreading it out there for the whole public to see, and naturally, if I made a tweet that went viral, and then someone decided to use my tweet as a vessel to spread revenge porn of, I assume, their ex-girlfriend, I would naturally want to hide these tweets from the public, because I wouldn't want the public to see these private photos of a girl that took these nudes with the full intention of only showing it to one person, and not the whole public. But oh no, if I do that, it would be plastered for the whole public to see, because they would notice that I hid a tweet, and they would click on the little hidden replies icon out of curiosity to see what I read, and they would see these poor girls' nudes, and it would basically have even more eyeballs plastered on it. And yes, I did report the profile, by the way. Anyway, this feature does the complete opposite of what it's intended to do. Instead of weeding out the horrible, nasty people in the replies to your tweet, it only sheds a bigger spotlight onto them. And Twitter, if you wanted to do a feature like this, why didn't you just do what YouTube did? Have a pinned tweet feature, if the tweet's author really likes a certain reply, or maybe even multiple replies under their tweet, they can pin all those tweets, and then you have a little icon right under the author's tweet where you can tap on it and see all the pinned replies that the author really, really liked. Why didn't you just do that instead, and then roll out an actual feature that actually hides replies under a tweet, and not shed a bigger spotlight onto these potentially very, very harmful and nasty replies? Like, again, I really don't get the logic here. It's like Twitter did the... it's like Twitter thought they were combating harassment, but instead they just only made the harassment even worse by, making the author seem like a coward to these kind of nasty people, and only empowering them even more and wanting to bother them even more because they noticed that the author hid their tweets. And I'm sure this will be an invitation for more people to harass the person who made the tweet, because some people are so fucking pathetic to the point that they would feel a sense of gratification after getting their reply hidden by the author of the tweet that they were targeting. But anyways, I just don't get it with Twitter. Like, YouTube does this right. YouTube has a feature where you can hide certain commenters from your comment section, and they don't have a little button where you can see all the comments that a uploader of a video hid from their comment section. Like, no other social media site does this. Facebook doesn't do this. You can actually delete replies from your post. Instagram doesn't do this. Like, you're the only fucking social media site that doesn't get such a basic feature right. Like, I don't get it. You still don't have an edit button. You can't delete certain replies from your own tweets. Like, you're so far behind a lot of the other social media sites that I'm surprised that Twitter still holds such relevance in this world, despite lacking a lot of very basic features that is common practice on pretty much every other social media site. But I really shouldn't be talking because I'm the one that uses Twitter a lot more than he really should. At least the block and mute button are functional, right? Anyways, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.